RecalLibration is an installation that focuses on the sensations of the body, specifically where the foot meets the ground. I've attached the rules of engagement on the wall, which works like a score and gives participant a simple structure to follow. This installation consists of 3 spaces: the outer space, the transitional space, and the inner private space. It begins with a pedestal, which I created to be used as a place to sit and remove the shoes. I chose to have 4 pedestals to limit the number of participants and to encourage a more private experience in the inner space. Here the viewer faces a box where there are clothespins to hang the shoes. The shoes bounce around and settle into stillness at the bottom of the box. The boxes are human size and reference the body, or the absence of the body, as it moves out of the public space, where participants can leave their public awareness of their bodies behind while leaving a marker of themselves in the gallery for other viewers. Following the felt carpet, the transition space is entered. In this space, there are several vertical hangings of knit tubing stuffed with tennis balls. Here, gravity is visible. The weight of the material stretches the knit tubing, making it thinner. There is also the tension created by the ball, where it meets the tubing and stretches it out. This resistance of the tubing material is actually the force holding the ball suspended in place. This is an important idea in the work, the place where 2 things meet, where there's give and take, where there's balance. The image is of the opening up of a body. While walking down the hallway, the hangings touch the body and the body touches the hangings. In the hallway, there's also a change in light. It goes from yellow light that is cast on the knit tubing into a more pink-violet tone as it goes further in. From here, there is again a turning to the right that is aided by the fact that the tennis ball floor from the inner space spills out into the hallway. This reinforces the idea of the place where 2 things meet being flexible and fluid. The final space is a landscape made of tennis balls and knit tubing that are woven together to cover the ground. Here there's a shift from solid ground to unstable. There's a blue light around the perimeter of the inner space that makes the tennis balls and the tubing have a distinct glow. This is a place where I connect this large idea of moving from a general sensation of the body to a more specific. This references the landscape of the inner body, where cells are connected, where information gets transferred from one part to the other. It reminds me of the dye injected into cells by biologists for cell identification and for tracing pathways. The return is an experience of readjustments to the ground, to the light, and to the public space, ending back at the pedestal facing an empty box. At this time, there's a moment of recalibration in which the normal sensation of wearing shoes is suddenly new again.
Recalibration makes me feel like I'm under the ocean. The lighting, from a biological perspective, it reminds me of green fluorescent protein, which is this protein that's expressed in jellyfish, and at a certain wavelength, it fluoresces. And so you see these little lines of green. Under the ocean, you would see the whole jellyfish would be glowing. But we use it in science to, we engineer it into particular genes, and then parts of the cell will glow, and it tells us which protein corresponds with which gene. And so it's kind of cellular, and it has these little areas of glowing protein. That's what I see when I look at it.
It was awkward at first, but then it became really meditative in a way, where, I mean, it's weird because it's not straight ground, and then it became meditative because the balls are so bouncy, and the texture and the way they were tied together, and I started jumping and running on it, and it felt normal after a little bit. Once you get jumping on it, and it felt like it sounds funny, but at Chuck E. Cheese, when you go in the little playpen with all the balls, and you try to stand up and walk out of it, so it felt like that all over again. But in the end, I got used to it, sort of, in an awkward way. It's kind of meditative, so, and my feet still feel like they're on the tennis balls. Probably spent too long in there, but